This is what God got in my life. And I always felt like I was fighting God between God and you. I didn't realize that God actually placed you in my life so that that tension would help me go further, though it felt like it was holding me back. That's something that nobody wants to say. And it could be a thing that could end a marriage.
Yeah.
If you feel like the person that you love is the reason that you can't do what you love to do.
Right.
Your passion in your relationship with your mate.
Because there's a difference between describing a feeling or a dynamic versus the purpose of that, what it then will accomplish. You feel like your spouse is holding you back, or in my case, I felt like you were running and just trying to drag me along with you, and I'm just like bumping around on the ground like boop, 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 you know?
Well, you know what? I'm so glad you said that
yeah.
because it just really opened up this conversation. It's not just about how I felt. It's how you felt what I was doing to you was creating.
Yeah.
Unpack that more. What was your experience as my wife? Because I think there are creatives, whether you are a male or female, whichever one, that creative person ends up being the one out front.
Right.
And so it doesn't matter whether you're the wife or the husband. The dynamic is very similar.
Yes.
How would you help creatives who are in that position understand what their mate is experiencing potentially? Well, we're back with another episode of Life in the Wild. I'm Michael Bethany, your host. Today, I have committed to being well-behaved because the special guest that I'm about to present to you is someone I know very, very well. And I know that if I'm not well-behaved, I'm not going to say what's going to happen, but I'm not going to have that happen because I'm going to behave myself. And I'm excited to have
never
her.
behave.
I do.
Okay.
I'm behaved right now all the time. Shout out to Hector, who's helped me today capture this podcast and get some content done. Listen, this episode right now is special because I've got my wife here with me. Chavon is hanging out with me for this one. And whenever Chavon pulls up to a podcast episode, it's always like incredible wisdom. And I can't wait to hear all the things you're going to drop, jewels you're going to drop here. But if you're watching this podcast, I want you to do me a favor, do yourself a favor, do somebody else a favor, like, share, subscribe to this channel. Share this episode with someone if they want to be married, right? Might want to be married, are married, struggling in marriage, especially creatives who are trying to navigate the relationship space with their creative calling, all right? Because this is something we've been doing for a minute, and we get a chance to kind of show, some of that to y'all, some of the process and ways we've grown. But let me just give her a proper introduction. This woman, she hails from the great city of St. Louis. This is, I tell you, this is a good old Kojic convocation introduction. She hails by way of St. Louis, Missouri. Maple Temple Church of God in Christ, to be exact. Hello?
That is true.
Wonderful woman of God. She's a preacher.
No.
That was fast. That was fast. She's quick. She's witty. She is my wife. She's the mother of my children. And she's an incredible person. She also plays piano. Y'all don't know that. She plays classical piano, lots of other surprises. She bakes. She cooks. True. She organizes. She administrates. She oversees the operations of my ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, Chavon Bethany. Hi,
everybody.
I was going to give you a new nickname, like a middle name. I was Chavon. What would your nickname be? I'm going to think. I'm coming up with one.
I'm okay.
You don't want I love that. Chavon Beloved Bethany.
Oh my gosh.
That was perfect.
Thank you, Hector. I'll never
for whatever reason, all I could think of was Tamika.
Oh my God.
And I was like, no, that's not grand enough.
Okay, you saved me then, Hector.
Chavon Beloved Bethany.
Okay.
This guy's clutch right here. All right, Chavon, would you greet the audience? Let them know.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Let's talk.
Well, listen, so first of all, I want to start out just kind of a little something fun that people don't know about you. Uh-oh. So when we met, around that time we were like in the church choir scene.
Yes.
back in the, I won't say back in the day.
It was back in the day.
It was some days ago. Hello. And we were in church, and you were like the leader of this choir called like the Yes Choir, and all this, the choirs were rocking.
Well, tell them what Yes stood for.
Yes, the Yes Choir stood for young, excited, and safe.
Well,
that means we wasn't having no fun. We wasn't doing nothing.
It was a lot of
We
fun.
was just at church.
It was a lot of
That
fun.
Whenever you have to tell somebody, get excited tonight, they're not excited. Be excited.
We had a lot of fun.
We did after church and laughing at people in church.
That's true.
We did a lot of that. There was a song. Can I sing the theme song?
Sure.
The theme song.
No, that wasn't the theme song.
That
The
was
Yes
my
Choir.
theme song.
That was your theme song.
I didn't make it up. This guy sang it. He the theme song. He said, he got up and said, "Here's the theme song: Young, excited, say."
Okay, that wasn't my choir theme song,
Okay.
but you heard that over the pulpit.
Young,
And then, every time I said Yes Choir, they would say that.
excited. That excited. That's not even an exciting way to say.
Okay.
Never mind. But you were in the choir. But here's the thing: you love choir music. So here's what I thought was interesting. I came, like, I don't even think I was in bed, and I woke up, and you were like playing Ricky Diller.
Oh, 100%.
Really loud.
Yes. Yes.
And you got Nathan.
Uh-huh.
Ricky did. Shout out to Ricky. Nathan singing, "I come to my house like more."
Oh, that's it.
So,
Yep.
bye, Jordan. That was just guests leaving. So you are a choir person. So I want to ask a trivia question.
Okay.
Who is your favorite choir director? Is it someone that we know or somebody we don't know?
My favorite choir director is Michael Bethany.
Come on, that's not true.
It's true.
How?
Other than you.
I don't do all the tricks. I don't do the Matrix.
So
When I direct.
this is gonna sound a little strange. Okay.
Oh, I know what you about to say. I know what you about to say.
When we first started dating, you would direct choirs, and I would like the way you looked when you directed the choir.
You were lusting.
A little bit. You're
gonna lust after the choir director.
You know, I was young.
He fine.
But other than you, I would say Janice Moorhead from St. Louis, Missouri.
Shout out to Janice Moorhead.
Yeah.
And she was like, she oversaw
she oversaw the Sunshine Band District Choir for Children.
Yeah.
In St. Louis, Missouri.
And the National Sunshine Band.
And the National Sunshine Band.
Church of God in Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. So
And
she's amazing.
When Janice Moorhead, there was this run she did with this, "I'm so happy I can shout." Remember the song? She said, "I'm so happy I can sing. I'm so happy I can." I was like, "What? I'm so happy." I don't know. I was tripping like, "That's crazy."
So for context, everybody. So Janice Moorhead, she had those two choirs, but then her and Charlotte in St. Louis, Missouri, they also started something called the Youth Gospel Music Choir.
That's right.
That we were both a part of. And that's kind of like where we first started being around each other.
So we got to know each other in St. Louis, in the choir space. And you're a church girl. You are a soprano, choir, and you play the organ.
I was forced to play the organ by my grandfather and my great aunt, yes.
And you played wonderful organ.
I was forced.
You was forced to play the organ. Why did they force you to play the organ?
Because they needed a musician. And they didn't understand that playing the piano is different than playing the organ. So they thought, she can play classical piano. Let's throw her on the organ. And any musician knows that's like night and day.
What's so crazy, Chavon? Chavon is you're such an introvert.
I am.
And I think because like whenever you have bad experiences in public,
it's hard for me to forget them.
And you never play an instrument in church ever again.
No.
And I can't even get you like to really like get in the choir, the praise team.
Oh, I could still do a good choir. I just don't have the time.
You're gonna have to find a church with a choir. Okay, next trivia question. What is your favorite choir song?
I don't know if this is the right name for it, but it's the Kirk Franklin "He Washed Me" song.
You one of them. You one of them
That
people that don't know the
song,
names to know
I
songs.
sure don't, but
What is the Kirk
He
Franklin?
Washed Me is the only.
What is it? What is sing it? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not gonna
Sing a little bit of it.
But the way the 3-part harmony is split up.
He washed me? What are you talking about?
Yes, it was Kirk Franklin and the Family.
He washed me.
Why
did it snow?
Yes.
Why did it snow?
Yes.
He washed me.
Yes.
That's sort of.
But I like the part where they split it up.
Maybe that is the name of it. I don't know the name of that song either. I know it's not He Washed
That's
Me.
one of my favorites.
I know it's not He Washed Me.
Yes, but if you look that up, you could probably pull the song up.
It's not He Washed Me.
I know.
That just sounds like a weird name.
It does.
He washed me.
Maybe it's snow. White as snow. I don't know.
Why did it snow? I don't know. Okay, so today I was in here to talk about those songs. But I do want to take some time because we have a journey, we have a story, and you've been telling me this like for the last several weeks. There's two things I want to cover with you in this conversation, but you've been saying something to me over and over again, like, Michael, you need to tell your story.
Yes.
You need to talk about, what people don't know because they can see you from afar and think certain things about you from what they observe creatively, musically, and all that stuff. But there's other things happening in the background that people don't know. So I want this segment is called "Tell Them What They Don't Know." Now, I just made that up.
Okay.
Okay,
That's a good name.
I just made that up right now. Tell them what they don't know. But this is gonna be from my wife about me to y'all.
Yes.
What do they not know that you think creatives should know?
Okay. So the first thing I will say is piggybacking off of actually what we talked about in a former podcast. How so many of your off-platform experiences has shaped what people see when you step on the platform today.
Yeah.
So I can start to list some of those.
Go ahead, list them out.
Okay. Well, number one, you faithfully served in your father's church as a young child.
Did.
As a boy.
Did.
So that shapes a lot of what people see. And I don't necessarily want to say it's because you were a PK, but I do want to say that there's a lot of substance that's developed in a young creative when they have periods where they have to serve someone else's vision.
Yeah.
Where they don't necessarily have the latitude that they may feel that they want right now in order to go do their own thing. How serving someone else's vision, being faithful to the vision of something that's beyond yourself, whether you get that as a child or whether you get that as an adult through serving in another ministry, that is very, very important.
And not only
your journey with that is
not
very
only did I
important
serve my dad, like not just in church and singing, like
Right.
I cut the grass.
Cut grass. You taught Sunday school.
I taught Sunday school.
Yeah.
Like it was like all the things that a kid doesn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I was in charge of selling the donuts.
You
Like
would tell me these stories about how you would help your dad make barrels of
Oh no, the potato salad. So we have barbecue dinners. This is how we raise money. So if you want to know how do people in the hood raise money to do things, they actually create entrepreneurial ventures.
sell
Actually,
stuff, yeah.
So we did car washes. We did all sorts of fundraisers. I sold candy, all that kind of stuff. But we did the biggest successful thing we did was barbecues.
Mm-hmm.
And my father was in charge of the potato salad.
Mm-hmm.
He had an incredible recipe, which I still have to this day.
Yes, and this amazing potato salad.
I want to let y'all know this right now. Hector, if you ever want to know what real
Listen, Michael Bethany can make that potato salad.
real potato salad is supposed to taste like,
Yes.
not that dry grocery store container stuff.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Let me tell you what you do with my potato salad. You get you. I don't eat pork anymore, but if you did, you get you like a hot link or like a Polish sausage with some good barbecue sauce on it. You make sure it's barbecue grill really nice. It's got a little
black
little crisp on it, and then good barbecue sauce on it. And you take my potato salad, and you put it right over top of it instead of sauerkraut. Potato salad.
Yep.
That's St. Louis style. And if you really want to go to the next level, you can drizzle a little bit of the sauce on top of the potato salad, and then that's how you go. It's a little messy. Okay, moving on. I am an incredible potato salad maker, but that's not your point.
Yes.
So yes, I used to make these huge trash cans.
Yes.
He would go out and buy, because there was no way to buy a container large enough. So we would get this huge trash can, we'd wash it, clean a brand new trash can, and we would fill it. I had to cut all the potatoes and all the onions.
It's a lot.
And he would, so you're right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so whether you're a child doing it, like I said, or an adult, I know there are a lot of creatives that are out there that sometimes get discouraged when they're serving at a church. They're not able to fulfill their personal vision yet. You know, there's a season for that. And especially if you're serving at a church and there are these non-stage activities, non-platform activities you don't find exciting, it's all a part of, making you who you are. So.
What's something else people don't know about me?
That I would say you had a corporate job for many years that had nothing to do with music.
It's very, very true.
Yes.
Corporate job, which has served me well.
Very well.
It's in every space creatively.
Yes.
What I found the corporate job did for me, or
for
does.
People who don't know, what did you do?
I was electrical engineering. I did not have a double E, but my original intention actually was to be a mechanical engineer.
Right.
I ended up becoming an electrical designer and switching and going to Missouri Baptist University. But I stayed in that field, and I became an electrical engineer designer, and I stayed there through my 20s. Designing electrical distribution systems for like retail stores, malls, hospitals, hotels, all sorts of places like that. So, but what it did for me is it gave me the capacity to think critically through problems, to sort out, to figure out how to build systems, to make something work outside of myself.
Right.
To look at people, to look at churches, to look at whatever I was looking at. Now it changed everything permanently. I can't see anything. And I don't know if, here's a question I honestly don't know, Chavon. I don't know if I was gifted with that.
Okay.
Or if I developed it because my father made me do it.
Yeah.
Like I had no desire to do anything like that. But when I took certain tests, I scored high in areas of engineering.
Yeah, so you had a proclivity.
But I was not a particularly good student.
Yeah.
I flunked like algebra. Like I didn't care about, but I'd make it up, but I didn't care about those things in high school. For whatever reason, it just all changed. But establishing, just the way I think and process and solve problems through that space.
Yeah. I mean, I would say even if you had a natural proclivity to do that, you doing that for so many years sharpened it.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It absolutely did. So, okay, one last question about things that people don't know about me. And I didn't prep her on this. So, and she's mad at me right now, silent. You told me what I didn't know.
It's okay.
I want to ask you this.
Yes.
What is something that you would think is funny or unexpected? Not necessarily in any serious way that people that people don't know about me that you experience as my wife.
Experience now or experience in the past?
Give me both.
Okay, so I think the fact that when you were a teenager, you were a late bloomer. I think that had a big impact on how we started life together.
I was tacky.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say you didn't have you were very unassuming, even though you were so highly talented. It's because you didn't really start coming into your own or just being aware of your swag or anything like that.
I had no swag. Why
are
you saying all this stuff so nice? What she's saying is Michael had no swag. Let me tell y'all something. I used to walk around with karate shoes on. And and I didn't know karate.
Yeah.
I had just had these old man shoes, and I just was like, I was tacky. I had no swag.
But that's the Michael Bethany I fell in love with.
I didn't know I needed it.
Yeah.
I was just a little preacher.
Yeah. Just honest, genuine.
Absolutely.
In who you were.
I love the way you try not to embarrass me, but you were still saying the same thing.
You know what?
Okay, something modern day.
Modern day. You know, guys, Michael Bethany loves hanging out at the house. Like, if he's not on the stage at church having a meeting, he's at the crib.
I do love the crib.
Yeah.
What do I like to do at the crib? Nothing.
Eat. Hang out with the boys.
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
That's true. Hang out with you.
Yeah.
So let's get into this.
Okay.
Our marriage. There's a lot to be said about creatives who struggle with marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I think from a person like myself, being a creative person, being out front, having a demand on my life publicly that people are enjoying, and then me being married to you, I think early on, I did not know how to make you feel safe in that. I did not know... I didn't know how to balance these two things out. As a matter of fact, I feel like I wasted a lot of like valuable time I wish I could have gotten back, because I felt like the pull you were placing on me, like resistance. I want to go out and I feel like there was always this resistance. Like, I don't want you to go. I'm like, but I need to do this. And like, I don't want you to go. Like, but this is what God got in my life. And I always felt like I was fighting God, between God and you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that God actually placed you in my life so that tension would help me go further. Mm. Though it felt like it was holding me back. Mm-hmm. Now I say that slowly because like that's something that nobody wants to say. Mm. And it could be a thing that could end a marriage.
Yeah.
If you feel like the person that you love is the reason that you can't do what you love to do.
Right.
Your passion and your relationship with your mate. Right. So that's kind of the space I want to navigate for a minute. Mm-hmm. I do want to get your reaction to me, like kind of framing it that way. Mm-hmm. Of course, you know all the history. We've been through this together.
Yeah.
So what is your immediate response to how I've just laid that out?
I would say the way you describe it is very accurate. And I think it's important to accurately describe the dynamic and how it makes you feel, because there's a difference between describing a feeling or a dynamic versus the purpose of that, what it then will accomplish or needs to accomplish. So yes, you feel like your spouse is holding you back, or in my case, I felt like you were running and just trying to drag me along with you, and I'm just like bumping around on the ground like boop, 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 you know.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad you said that because it made me, it just really opened up this conversation. It's not just about how I felt. It's how you felt what I was doing to you was creating.
Yeah.
So unpack that more. What was your experience as my wife? Because I think there are creatives, whether you are a male or female, whichever one, that creative person ends up being the one out front.
Right.
And so it doesn't matter whether you're the wife or the husband. Mm-hmm. The dynamic is very similar.
Yes.
How would you help creatives who are in that position understand what their mate is experiencing potentially?
Well, I think, first of all, I have to just say, unless you have some serious trust issues that are major, if you have just a normal kind of marriage situation, I want to encourage that creative person that's out front during that particular season, that your mate does want you to be successful. You know, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions when someone feels like someone else is holding them back, is that the mate that's saying, hey, let's talk about this, let's slow down a little bit. Let's maybe not make that decision. That they don't want you to be successful, and that's just not true. It's just a lot of times there's not an alignment between you and your spouse as far as what does success look like for us. How do we measure success? For one spouse, success may be signing the deal. For another spouse, it may be, no, let's get a lawyer to look at this, or let's, craft a deal that gives us more flexibility, more creativity. What does success look like for us? What is our shared vision of what that picture looks like?
Man, the disconnect. Mm-hmm. Two visions.
It's real.
But I love the fact that you said that it's not that you didn't want me to succeed.
No.
But I think one of the other issues was I was so far out doing things that I didn't even take time to explain to you. Mm-hmm. So you were holding me back. So let's talk about why. Why were you holding me back? Because I don't think, and maybe walking through this can help uncover what they're experiencing. And one of the reasons I think was because you didn't understand what was going on.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like, I'm out with all these people doing all these things. You're not in those places with me. You don't know those people.
Right.
So let's go down the list of reasons why they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Can we see how many we can list? All right.
Okay.
Let's start number one and see how far we go. It's number one, what's one reason why a person has reticence, unreadiness, uncomfortable, resistance to moving forward in your creative passion?
I'm going to say number one, and just kind of thinking about our story, they're operating based off of an old version of what the vision is, what the next steps are. We have a mentor, pastor, that, that's really connected to us, that explained it this way. If you look at your journey of purpose as like you see a compass when you're trying to navigate through the woods.
Yeah.
What you have to do is to say, okay, God, what's the next quadrant that I'm supposed to move in the direction of? Because you don't necessarily have every next step spelled out. You move in the next right quadrant, and then as you're walking along, then the Holy Spirit will give you clarity. Right? And you know what I mean when I say quadrant. So if it's north, south, east, west.
Yes.
Okay, we're going northeast.
Yes.
Okay, so here's the challenge. All right, you and I moved from St. Louis, and we're pursuing purpose, we're pursuing destiny, and we're going in this next best quadrant. Well, then as you're navigating in that, you're getting more updates and details, and you're making pivots and left and right moves, and I'm still back here 5 miles behind the last place you left me mentally.
Yeah.
As far as updating me as to, okay, now what's the next best move? Mm-hmm. So like you said, out of alignment, I think one main issue is that, again, if you have a cooperative spouse and there aren't any major trust issues or violations happening, has that spouse been updated fully as to where things are now?
I guess you have to get a clarity about that yourself. Because I think a lot of times what happens is, and if I'm honest about myself, is I didn't know where I was going either. Mm-hmm. So I could not explain accurately. And I think it may have helped if I had just told you.
Yeah.
I don't really understand.
I don't know, babe. I don't know where I'm going. I have a hunch about this. I'm going to try this. Well, just take this journey with me. We'll
How does that make a person like you feel? Like you're a person that you treasure safety. You're an introvert. You don't want surprises. You don't want your peace just totally disrupted. Mm-hmm. But if I tell you as a man, I got a hunch about this, I'm not sure about it. Mm-hmm. How does that help you? Or what? I mean, I would think that wouldn't make you feel.
Okay. Well, see, here's the thing, though. I don't think this just applies to introverts. I think this can apply to support spouses in general. Okay. If we have security in certain areas, in other areas we can feel more ambitious in. We can take more risks in, we can be more experimental with, right?
Yeah.
So you at least giving me the emotional safety and openness and honesty in saying, I don't quite know yet, but I want you to take this journey with me. And trust me, that's given me a certain type of relationship safety. So then I may have the courage that can fuel me to have the courage to then say, okay, we'll take this risk. Or there was another season where I had a personal community I was locked into. There was a women's group, and, making sure I can get to that group and get that support. So there, you can be very creative with how you balance security versus taking risks, because there should be a balance. So no, don't assume just because your spouse isn't an out front person that means that, oh, well, she'll never understand or he'll never understand this risk that I need to.
But there also, it sounds like what you're saying to me is to really ensure that you've secured as much as you can.
As much as you can.
Because what happens is, like, if I get in my own head, I'm not even thinking enough about you to give you something to hold on to.
Something, yeah.
And for a creative person, this is why we have to be intentional. And you cannot live your life out of your spontaneity or your creativity.
No. There's
a principle, and you'll hear me say this again and again. We all have to master living life out of a place of principle.
Yes.
And I think sometimes even for us who are spiritually minded, we're like, I'm waiting on the Holy Ghost to say this, and I'm waiting on the Lord to tell me. It's like, hold on a second. The Lord has already given you principles in the Word of God. And it's also giving you wisdom, access to wisdom, even through wise counsel. And if you master living out principles, that will actually give you enough foundation, safety, so that when something that's unexpected, spontaneous, or by revelation that the Lord reveals, hey, I want you guys to do this or that, you don't have a place that's been so destabilized that you don't have a place to launch from.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think for you, having to learn, do everything I can to give her a sense of security.
Yes.
Because I don't know exactly what's going to happen next. Yeah. But just because I don't know what's going to happen does not relieve me or alleviate the responsibility I have as a husband to make sure you have the basic necessities of life.
100%.
So for us, I've switched around, we've moved, we've relocated, have these changes, but I have been committed to making sure that you will always be taken care of.
Yes.
And sometimes that commitment feels like a sacrifice to something I'm pursuing creatively.
Right.
But here's the thing. It is better to sacrifice a project than to sacrifice your mate.
100%.
It's better to sacrifice an ambition than it is to sacrifice your marriage.
It is.
I was just telling a friend of mine, like, I wanted to make sure you understand this role in ministry you're going to could very well be the role that turns out terrible for you.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't mean you weren't meant to be there, but you're in such a rush to go somewhere that you don't even know what's going to happen when you get there,
100%.
that you're not taking the time to secure what you actually know and have.
Yeah.
So it's better for me to say, listen, I don't know what's going to happen there. The future will take care of itself. I'm not sure how. I don't know tomorrow. I do know what I have today. I got my wife. I got this baby. I got this, that. Here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that I do everything I can to provide, which goes back to what I'm saying. It's like, I can't live my life waiting on an opportunity.
No.
I have to live my life stewarding what I've been given until the opportunity comes.
Yeah.
Which means I may have to work a job I don't like.
Right.
I've said this several times, get a job. But listen, sometimes you have to get a job that you don't want long term.
For sure.
For necessary short term provision.
Listen, when we first moved here, you had
Tell them what I did.
You had an engineering degree, but you worked in FAIYAZ Electronics, selling electronic parts.
I did.
So we can pay the bills. After when we,
I didn't know nothing about them parts.
No.
Computers
when we first got here,
we
had an apartment. After that first apartment, you've always been able to provide a home for me and our kids, a home, And we went through a tremendous amount of transition after that time. But I always had a home.
Yeah.
So That is so key. Securing what you can. You can't secure everything, you know? Even if it's not a physical home, maybe it's a counseling session that you say, hey, we're going to submit our relationship to once a month, talking to this couple that will allow to speak into our life, to hold us accountable, to check in on us, whatever it is, however the Holy Spirit leads you. But the other thing I really, really want to bring up to bring balance to what you said when it comes to making sure you secure your spouse, listen, support spouses, whether you're a man or a woman. If you know you have a partner that's willing to do everything he or she can to secure you, then you have to be willing to allow yourself to be stretched.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is huge. And you know what? That's not on your mate. You can't demand such a high, unwavering level of comfort and security or stability that you don't see, you know what? This new job that my spouse may be called to take, there's some things God wants to do with me in that environment as well. There's some ways God wants to develop me by me saying, okay, I'm not completely comfortable with this. This is stretching me beyond my personality type, beyond my skill level. It may take me away from family and friends. It may move me to a different part of the country, sometimes a different part of the world. But this is all a part of of the journey that God has for me so that I can become the best version of myself. And guess what? I haven't met that version of myself yet. And I have to be willing and be open to taking that chance.
Okay, let's get into another one. Things that might make your mate feel uncomfortable with your ambition.
Okay.
People they don't know.
Oh, 100%.
Like I'm doing this and this, and how, like because I did this. Mm-hmm. I was out ripping and running, doing things.
Ripping and running.
I was out there doing stuff.
My husband is an extrovert. For those of you,
I'm an extrovert, so I'm doing stuff, and so I didn't take the time to not only cast vision.
Yes.
I didn't take the time to make sure I secured as much as I possibly could. Mm-hmm. I also did not take the time to make sure you knew the people that were affecting your life.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
These people are not just affecting you.
Right.
They're affecting your family.
Right. Children. Yeah.
Right? So share about that a little bit.
Well, I would say we have really gotten better in that area.
How important has that been, like me learning to do that? Yeah. And how challenging was it before I actually did that?
You know what? And I used this word picture when I was trying to describe to you what I felt. And it was when Isaiah was very, very young. Isaiah's 19 now.
Wow.
I said, Michael, I feel like I'm sitting in a big box with holes in it, and there's just light peering in from every hole that the spotlight's on me, and I'm exposed. Mm. That's me feeling like, first of all, I felt trapped because I felt like I'm sitting in a box. I can't escape it, right? And then the holes for me felt like exposure and lack of safety.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it was a very, very scary feeling. Not just because I think if I didn't have my personality, temperament, it would still be tough. But especially with my temperament, because to be honest, I mean, I have so many relationships because of you, because you're an extrovert, you're going to be the one to say, hey, hello, you know, you're going to be the first person to talk to someone new. And so anyway, it was very frightening for me. I felt a lack of control of my own life. I felt like my family was exposed.
And we had these conversations where you felt like decisions I was making
were influenced by
these
other
people were influencing me to
100%.
do it. And
then it caused me not to trust you.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you felt like it was competition for your influence on me. Like, whereas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes and no, in the sense that I would say it felt foreign. It felt foreign, you know, and I was, at first, I didn't know how to process it. And so what I did, instead of us handling it instead of me handling it in a healthy way, I would just not trust you. And so I would, like, in my mind, and this is why I use the word foreign. Mm-hmm. A foreign entity or substance has to be expelled. It has to be kicked out.
Yes.
Right? So mentally, I had to kick them out because they were foreign, and now you're foreign too because you're in my head. You're being influenced by them.
You're giving it real right
so
now.
I gotta kick everybody out.
But this is how. But honestly, so this could seem like an interesting conversation. Some parts are funny.
Yeah.
But this is how marriages fall apart.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now there's all this new stuff, new people, new activity, new places. Yeah. And that person feels they've been left behind. They feel unsafe. And they also feel like somebody else is controlling my reality. And it is something I don't want. And now not only am I being like infiltrated by somebody else, now I feel like my own mate is not who I thought they were.
Right.
And so now instead of me making the problem an external component, now the mate becomes the target because you don't even know these people.
No,
you're unloading on your mate. So for us, man, you talking about the challenges that we had young in our marriage when I didn't understand what God had for me, but all the opportunities were coming to me.
Yeah,
and I didn't know how to walk you through that. The people factor. You know, for me, it was learning to, for one, make sure that you were the first person who had a voice and could weigh in on whatever decision was being made.
Yes.
And making sure that you knew and everybody else knew that if you weren't on board with it, it's not going to happen.
Yes. And, okay, so we're going to get a little bit more real here. Because it's really, really important when you're around people that have the gift of influence or that are other influencers. Because if you don't establish early that there's someone else in my life that weighs in on who gets to influence me, then it kind of serves as a protection against certain kind of energy that people will try to bring. For me, it can also, it was a real challenge, especially when there were a lot of ladies coming around. You know what I'm saying? But it can be men too. It doesn't matter. Because, you know, when you're in a platform ministry, there are just so many people that are trying to influence the person that's on that stage, you know, and that's why I have to say men too, in the sense that there were even, because, you know, everyone knows the prototype of just kind of the Samson kind of situation where there are Delilahs around and women that are trying to influence, you know, men and things like that. But the men would come differently in the sense that if they think that getting Michael to do something for them or with them or striking some kind of business deal helps to fatten their pockets or helps to promote what they're trying to do, well, that support spouse still can be seen as a threat or someone that needs to be minimized or moved out of the way so they can have access to who they think can get them what they want. So the relationships thing, that's a big deal.
That's a huge deal. Over the years, we've learned to navigate this.
Yeah.
And I think the key is this phrase of me learning this. Now, this is from me to you. You have to tell me what you've learned. But I've learned that I have to master progressing at the pace that my wife can maintain. So that means it may be slower than I want it to be, and I will do less than I'd like to do as soon as I'd like to do it.
Right.
But I will be able to extend much further.
The longevity will be there. Yes.
Than I ever imagined. And I have learned to appreciate how much can be done at a consistent pace over time.
Sure. Oh, for sure.
over how much I can do at a fast pace in a short period of time.
For sure.
Because now everything we've built is so much more solidified.
Yeah.
And we've been able to process and learn and grow and stack those things neatly and organize them and that they make sense for our lives.
And I wanna jump in there because I think we don't value enough the blessing of consistency, longevity. You know, every time God has given us an increase in influence, an increase financially, an increase when it comes to purpose, calling, praise God, there's never been a time where some catastrophe has had to come to knock us back down 10 steps.
Yeah.
Like, by the grace of God, to the glory of God, wherever God has taken us and that next step he's placed us on, he's kept us there.
Yeah.
And like I said, I value that.
And then and not only that, but it's also put you in a position to where you're approaching it with me.
Yes.
So the pace keeps us together.
Together, yes.
And, you know, back in the day, we used to walk and you'd always tell me we'd be in the mall. Michael, you walk too fast.
Even when we were younger, physically, my husband, we couldn't walk down the street with him walking like 6 steps ahead of me. And I'm just I'm behind him, walking behind. I'm just like, gosh, I can't even keep up with him with walking. What? Forget it.
And so I had to learn to walk slower.
Yes.
So that you can walk
together
with me.
Yes.
And isn't that the point of the relationship?
Yes.
Because I think a lot of us think in terms of like when I'm getting from point A to point B that I'm trying to get there as fast as I can. As a man, that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, it's a temptation.
For you, you're like, no, I'm trying to be with you on the duration of this journey.
Yeah, and let's stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, let's talk while we do this. I'm like, no, I got somewhere to be. It's like, no, we are doing this, and this journey is impacting our intimacy, our relationship. So I've learned to appreciate that a lot more, and it's made a huge impact on how I've navigated our relationship to this point. I do want to kind of get into some things around what you've learned.
Okay.
Right? I've learned to measure my pace, right? But what have you learned to do? Because I think for people who are with someone, they need to know like, okay, what is my role? What is my sacrifice? Because for me to tell somebody else, they're not holding you back.
Right.
They're actually helping you to position yourself to go much further. That resistance is not to stop you, it's actually to launch you, right? Much further.
For sure.
So you need to be comfortable walking at a slower pace. Yes, you can do more sooner, but you want to do more over time.
Right.
So yes, pace yourself for your own benefit and for the benefit of your wife, your kids, your family, your house, and please, all the other things that you need to put in place to secure your family.
Yeah.
But what do you say?
Okay.
You learned to embrace that you had to sacrifice and that made a difference. And I can actually confirm how that affected me.
Okay. Well, like I said, I think in putting a Christian marriage in the context, that my journey with you is a part of my process of becoming more and more like Jesus Christ every day. Or in other words, the sanctification process. Now, I know that seems like a heavy concept, but I'm saying that because I had to learn that even if you make a decision along this journey that seems like a mistake, seems like it's not the best decision, not the best way to handle it, or even if it's just something I don't understand yet, that it's okay because that decision and that journey will make me a better version of myself. Right? So I don't have to put pressure on you to do everything right, to know the perfect next best step. Like you just said, sometimes you don't even know what that is, right?
True.
So I'm going to say for the spouse that's supporting someone with the creative gift and the creative talent, that's out front because, we're both creative, but the vision and the weight of your gift has been the heaviest in our relationship. please take the pressure off of your spouse of having to be perfect, of having to know it all. I'm gonna say it like a wise woman told me when I went to counseling years ago. What direction is your spouse trying to go in? And is it genuine? Does that person have a pure motive with the direction he wants? Okay, if that's true, then learn how to take that pressure off of that person having to be perfect.
And I would say to someone who's trying to navigate that, stay with them. Don't check out.
No.
Because as much as you need them, they need you. Mm-hmm. Don't turn them into the villain.
Yeah.
They need your help. And sometimes people don't know how to ask for help, just like
True.
you sometimes don't know how to ask for it.
True.
So you have to make sure that you show up.
Yeah.
And so I don't like to say things that you did that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. And so this is not to expose you, because I often mostly talk about me. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I had to learn, and we had to learn to navigate this, is have these conversations about what I need you to show up for. Mm-hmm. Because what I started doing was, I'm like, well, she doesn't want to be here anyway.
Right.
So I got to figure out how to do this by myself.
Right.
And eventually it was taking a toll on our relationship. And it was like one of these things like, well, I do need her there.
Yeah.
And for you struggling with all the things you were challenged with, mm-hmm. the one thing you can't do is make a decision that's going to be to the detriment of what you want fixed.
Right.
Like, I want unity, but I'm not going to show up. Like, you're never going. You're that much further away.
Yeah.
You're doubling the distance of the So I think just showing up.
Yeah.
And then number two, something you did is go get support for yourself mm-hmm. in a space where they really have a biblical value for mm-hmm. marriage, and make sure you have that. And for men, I would say make sure that you process whatever you're processing with someone before you bring all that stuff to your wife.
So I want to jump in there. Number one, the thing you were saying before about showing up, for me, that was how I needed to stretch myself or allow myself to be stretched.
Yeah.
For another spouse who may have an out front talent, but it's not their season to be out front with that yet, their stretch may look like, hey, I have to show up and it not be about me.
Wow.
So whatever that stretch needs to look like. So I want to make sure as we're talking and we're giving just practical examples, you customize that to whatever your personality and relationship dynamic is. But the support system part is so important, because another thing that I learned is that, that stage light is hot and it takes a lot out of you. Okay. So I need to do everything that I can to get as much healthy support on my own. I can't put that burden on you to be my only friend, only person I can talk to, the only person I can go have, fun with, the only person, only person that I can pray with. You can't
go get another. You can't get another boo now.
I will clarify.
We gotta be
healthy.
No.
Well, no. Okay, so this is important for women.
Me and James, let me tell you what. James, who?
Let me clarify.
Just put a handle on it, because folks need to understand.
I will clarify. And this is really important for women. And this is why I have to say that you can't be my only friend, because women get so upset sometimes when their husband doesn't act like their best female friend. Like, I need healthy relationships. Okay.
That's right.
I can't expect you coming home off the road and you wanting to chat it up with me about, the latest thing that I saw on YouTube right away. If you're tired and you're exhausted, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes we do that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I'm going to put it this way. I can't put myself in an emotional and spiritual and relational deficit when you're not around. My tank has to be full.
So you own
as an individual, as a person.
You own that responsibility of stewarding your own heart.
Yes.
And not
my own mental health, emotional health. That's my responsibility. Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I want to pivot and ask you a question, because you mentioned something you want to share, And this is just an excerpt in this segment about Life in the Wild, the book, because I always want to give something for people to hold on to. Mm-hmm. And you can actually go back and, you have the book. She's holding the book. Look, she's holding the book. I'll just kind of, you could go get you one of these right here. but the chapter you want to highlight before I let you go, because I know you got to go get some female things you want to do for yourself. What was the point you wanted to highlight today from the book, just to help people just maybe go find a space to grow in this book?
I think one of my favorite parts of the book is the part when you move from talking about the story of Samson to the chapter about necessary pain. And the point with Samson's story, and you actually did a juxtaposition in how you explained his life versus the life of John the Baptist, I believe, were the two stories, where Samson, just like John the Baptist, had a call.
Yeah.
But Samson wasn't willing to embrace the necessary pain, restrictions, limitations, whatever God asked him to do to restrict himself in order to qualify and be prepared for the calling. And so I think in just context of what we are talking about, the part about necessary pain is so impactful because when you have a spouse that's saying, hey, not so fast, not yet, not that person, not in that way, it can feel painful. It can feel like someone's holding you back. It can feel like your creativity or your dreams are being stifled. I'm going to flip it. When you have a spouse that has these big dreams, that wants to go meet all these people, that wants to move across the country to this new place, that can feel painful, but just like in the story of Samson, you have a choice. You can choose to embrace that or not embrace that. Guess what? God still has a way he'll use your life, but who will you become? Will you become the kind of person like Samson who got used? He defeated the enemy, but at the end of the day, who he was as a person, I know was just a mere shell of who God really created. He lost himself, and that, again, that goes for both people. So I want us as creative couples to see pain, limitation, being held back, being rejected, all the things that we actively fight against a lot of times in the name of ambition, to see that as actually a gift that God can be using to get us exactly where we need to be, the time that we need to be there. And when we get there, we are exactly who he's called us to be once we arrive.
That's so good. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to keep this episode going because that's something I want to do. Okay. But I know you got somewhere to be.
Yes.
So I'm going to transition. Put the camera on me.
Thank y'all. See you later.
Thank you, babe. Incredible wisdom. I want to invite my son Nathan to come on. You walk on in front of me. Have a seat. Sit down. Okay. Now I want you to chill for just a second. I'm gonna wrap up this moment. Okay. So I want to say this about Samson. It's a cautionary tale, and you'll get this in the book. That there's a caution to having an exceptional calling, but refusing to live the exceptional life to match it. That the children of Israel in this story about Samson still needed saving, and God still used Samson to help them, to preserve them, but Samson was not preserved. So the will of God moved on for the people who needed help, but Samson had already elected not to be a part of that outcome by the choices he made. And there's this tension between, like, is God still using the person who's living in rebellion? Listen, the kids still need to eat. God's going to take care of the babies. God's going to take care of his people. And he might even use you to help. But he's not going to hold you hostage in a will that you rejected. It's your choice to submit to the Lord and live the life He's called you to live or not. But if we aren't willing to live at the level of what God requires, then we should not expect the outcome that God promised. With that being said, I'm gonna keep this in the family for a minute. I've got my son, Nathan, who just pulled up. He just got home from camp. You had fun today?
Yeah, I came back from summer jam.
From summer jam?
Yeah,
I'm so glad to see you.
thanks.
So, Nathan, I'm going to end this episode with you having a moment, and you didn't even know you were going to be on this episode, did you? But you've been asking because you got some things that you want to say. So, Nathan, I'm going to interview you, and I want to ask you some questions. And I'm going to ask you about your perfect pitchness, okay, that you have. And I want you to explain to me, what is perfect pitch? Technically, what does it mean to have perfect pitch?
Well, that perfect pitch, I mean, it happens to people sometimes. Like, it's a gift that God gave me. But perfect pitch is when, because let me tell you an example. So my dad sometimes tests my perfect pitch. Like, once he presses a note on his piano on his phone, or sometimes on the real piano, I say, and my face is not, and I'm not really facing the piano. He plays the note, and I have to guess what the note is without looking. And he does it sometimes in events. And I remember the video that he posted on YouTube, and then kissing rocks with you, and he was like, and I was like, nope. But
you won't sing, but you can do the perfect pitch thing. So I want to ask you to do this for me. I want you to give me an example of how you do that. All right. So I'm going to play a note on my phone, and I want you to tell me what the note is.
okay,
All right. You ready?
yeah,
Okay. You're not looking, so here it is.
D,
Okay. All right. I'm going to try another one.
G, B, A, E, D flat,
Yes. Okay.
A flat,
That is correct. Okay. I want to play 3 notes.
F, D,
Mm-hmm.
F, A.
Yeah, he's right. You did it. That was it. Okay, that's crazy. I'm done with this. All right, now, Nathan, thank you for joining me for this episode of Life in the Wild. Would you just look into the camera and tell people how they can enjoy these episodes on YouTube and what they should do?
So you can enjoy them by well, first of all, you should well, first of all, like and subscribe, and you can enjoy all our videos, because once you like and subscribe, you can enjoy our channel, which means that you can tell others about Jesus based on what you heard from us. But the main point is to like and subscribe.
There you go. Thank you, Nathan. Like, share, subscribe. Life in the Wild. This episode, it's a family thing. I will bring my other son in here, but he's even more of an introvert than I think maybe his mom is. He's like, nope, absolutely not going to do it. Shout out to Isaiah, who's been hanging out this entire afternoon while we've been shooting content. I love you guys. And I pray that the conversation that me and Chavon had, for all the couples out there, that you really take some time to listen to this and share this with your friends who need to hear it, because this is one of those episodes where if you really take the principles that we've shared, it's going to really scale your life. I mean, I've seen my life go from clutter, confusion to clarity. And all the things that God has done has been absolutely incredible. And I don't want to be the only one to experience that. I want you to benefit from my mistakes, and hopefully you don't make them. One of my greatest regrets is that it took me longer than I think it should have taken to do some of the things that I needed to do. And I want you guys to have a better journey than I did. So God bless you. Share the episode, take some notes, pray, share this with your spouse, have a conversation, and talk through it and see what parts of this resonate with you and your spouse. And with that being said, peace. Life in the Wild podcast. We out.